Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we will see Maharashtra Board's Higher Level English Poem 1.4 All the World's a Stage by William Shakespeare. You might have often heard all the world's a stage, all the men and women merely players, just like Zindagi Ek Rangmanch Hai. Yes, these lines are taken from the play As You Like It, written by none other than William Shakespeare. So let's know about William Shakespeare. William Shakespeare was an English poet, playwright, and actor widely regarded as the greatest writer in the English language and the world's greatest dramatist. He is often called England's national poet and the Bard of Avon, or simply the Bard. His works are extant, that is, still existing, including collaborations, consist of some 39 plays, 154 sonnets, 2 long narrative poems, and few other verses, some of uncertain authorship. His plays have been translated into every major living language and are performed more often than those of any other playwright. In the poem All the World's a Stage, taken from his play As You Like It, Shakespeare compares the world to a stage on which the drama of human life is enacted. It is a monologue by one of the characters in the play. Let us read the poem now. All the world's a stage, all the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts. His acts being 7 ages, at first the infant mewling and puking in the nurse's arms, then the whining schoolboy with his satchel and shining morning face creeping like snail unwillingly to school, and then the lover sighing like furnace with a woeful ballad made to his mistress' eyebrow, then a soldier full of strange oaths and bearded like the bard, jealous in honor, sudden and quick in quarrel, seeking the bubble reputation even in the cannon's mouth, and then the justice in fair round belly, with good cap on line, with eyes severe and beard of formal cut, full of wise saws and modern instances. And so he plays his part, the 6th age fifth, into the lean and slippered pantaloon, with spectacles on nose and pouch on side, his youthful horse well saved a world too wide, for his strong shank and big manly voice, turning again towards childish treble, pipes and whistles in his sound. Last scene of all that ends this strange eventful history is second childishness and mere oblivion, sans teeth, sans eyes, sans date, sans everything. William Shakespeare. Now, before beginning with anything, I would like to show you when we read the poem, there was no rhyme scheme, there were no rhyming words, so it is also known as free verse. But here, when it comes to William Shakespeare's All the World's a Stage, it is known as blank verse, because when we read it, we had a steady rhythm. So blank verse is no rhyme scheme, but there is a steady rhythm of 5 beats in each line. Now that we have read the poem, let us go through it line by line to understand what the poet wants to convey. All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his lifetime plays many parts. So, the poet Shakespeare begins the poem with these lines to compare the life of a man with a stage. He adds that all men and women are mere players, meaning actors. Here, player refers to actors. On the stage of life, everyone has their own distinct exits and entrances. Their exits and entrances. Entrance refers to birth and exit refers to death. A person during his time also plays numerous parts. There are plenty of figures of speech in this poem. We can see in the same stanza, men and women merely players. It shows metaphor that they are compared to actors. They have their exits and entrances. You can see the sound of letter T and E being repeated. So it is alliteration. His acts being 7 ages. At first, the infant mewling and puking in the nurse's arm. So now we are looking at 7 stages. In these lines, Shakespeare divides human life into 7 acts or 7 ages, each having its own varied qualities and features. He begins with the first stage, that is, birth of an infant. The baby is seen mewling. Mewling refers to crying. The way a child cries weakly when they are born. And puking up. Puking refers to throwing up or vomiting in nurse's arm. Here we have example of inversion, his acts being 7 ages. Moving forward, then the whining schoolboy with his satchel and shining morning face, creeping like snail, unwillingly to school. Shakespeare through these lines revealed the second stage in the life of a man. Here, the school-going boy is seen dragging himself to school with a satchel. Satchel refers to the school bag. Even though he has a shining morning face, he is seen whining. Whining means crying in a complaining way because the child doesn't wish to go to school. Here, whining, since it is also a sound, we can see there is an example of onomatopoeia. Also, we can see creeping like snail. Direct comparison is made when the word like is used, so it is an example of simile, the figure of speech. Moving forward, and then the lover sighing like furnace with a woeful ballad made to his mistress' eyebrow. These lines show the third stage in a man's life, which is often of a lover sighing and singing a woeful ballad. What is a woeful ballad? Woeful ballad is a sad or soulful poem or song. He is writing this melancholic ballad for his lover to impress her. In these lines, we can see sighing like furnace. We can see the example of simile. With the word like, we can have a keyword like. Then sighing is also a sound, so it refers to onomatopoeia. And here, letter W is repeated. The sound is repeated, so it shows alliteration. Also, The same line with the woeful ballad shows example of transferred epithet because it is not the ballad that is woeful but the lover that is woeful. Moving ahead, and then the justice in fair round belly with good capon-line, with eyes severe and beard of formal cut, full of wise saws and modern instances, and so he plays his part. In these lines, Shakespeare describes the fifth stage, that is, life of a justice. He is a mature, middle-aged man with a round belly, with good capon-line. What is good capon-line? It means he has gained excess fat due to careless eating. He is stern and keen on justice, has opinions on bribery. He is full of wise sayings and gives modern examples. So this person claims to be very much intelligent and wise. With eyes severe and beard of formal cut, we see the example of inversion. Then a soldier, full of strange oaths and bearded like the bard, jealous in honor, sudden and quick in quarrel, seeking the bubble reputation even in cannon's mouth. In these lines, the poet Shakespeare discusses about the next stage where a spirited and aggressive soldier is jealous, where his honor is concerned and is quick to quarrel. He is bearded and like a bard refers to leopard, and full of oaths. He is ambitious, the one with high aims, and seeks bubble reputation. What is bubble reputation? It means he seeks for the useless things. He even endangers his life for his reputation. Again, looking for the figure of speech, we can see here the example of simile, bearded like the bard, like is the keyword used. The sixth age shifts into the lean and slippered pantaloon, with spectacles on nose and pouch on side, his youthful host well saved, a world too wide, for his shrunk shank and his big manly voice, turning again towards the childish treble, pipes and whistles in a sound. In the sixth stage, man has become old, with his thin legs in slippers and loose pants. Pantaloons means pants. He has spectacles on his nose and a pouch by his side. His youthful hose refers to close-fitting stockings, or you can also call them socks, which he has saved from his younger days are now too big for his thin legs that have shrunk with age. His once loud, manly voice has turned to a childlike, shrill voice. So, the figures of speech in this stanza, we can see into the lean and slippered pantaloon. Into the lean and slippered pantaloon, it is an example of transferred epithet because it is not the pantaloon that is lean, the pants are not lean, the man has become lean. His youthful horse, well saved, a world too wide. WWW. Alliteration. For his shrunk shank, again SS. Repeated. Alliteration. Turning again towards childish treble. T. It shows the example of alliteration. Last scene of all that ends this strange eventful history is second childishness and mere oblivion, sans teeth, sans eyes, sans taste, sans everything. Shakespeare ends the poem with the final stage of life where man becomes old and aged and enters second childhood. This Old age is also referred to. Second, childhood. He is in oblivion. What does oblivion mean? It means the man is unaware and he is in unconscious state of what is happening around him. And he is without teeth, without eyes, without taste, without everything. So you know the meaning of sans now. It means without. Also, we can see that these words have been repeated. So it is an example of repetition. We can see that entire poem is metaphorical. So there are many comparisons made. The world is compared to a stage. Actors are compared to players. Schoolboy is compared to snail. And sighing of lover is compared to furnace. The spotted leopard is compared to bearded soldier. And the last stage is compared to old stage. So we can see the theme of the poem is cycle of life, where human life is divided into 7 stages with its unique features which we just saw now. It tells us how one starts out as an infant, helpless, without understanding, and ends the same without being aware of what is happening around. I hope you enjoyed this video. You learned it very well. Thank you for watching.